The U.S. Navy says that the U.S. has already spent nearly $1 billion fighting the ISIL threat.
And as Christine Frizzell reports, now the president is admitting his administration underestimated the terror group when it came to understanding and reacting to the threat.
It was an important admission by the president.
He didn't just say that we underestimated ISIL. He said we overestimated the ability and the will of our allies, the Iraqi army, to fight.
That's true. That's absolutely true.
Underestimating the enemy and overestimating the ally. Perhaps two central reasons the United States now finds itself back at war.
U.S. forces trained these Iraqi fighters. How could our leaders be so off about their capabilities?
You can train people to shoot a mark. You can train people how to fire a tank. But that doesn't mean that they're going to have the ability to stand up to an enemy on the battlefield.
As for the unforeseen ability of the Islamic State, many top defense officials here in Washington are now saying, not so fast. There were indeed several warnings about the group. Warnings that just weren't heeded in a timely fashion.
Here's CIA Director John Brennan in early February, warning about the threat. And he names both al-Qaeda and a group very few had heard of back then called ISIL.
To recruit individuals and develop the capability to be able not just to carry out attacks inside of Syria, but also to use Syria as a launching pad.
In prepared testimony a week later, another warning by the Defense Intelligence Agency's General Michael Flynn. He writes ISIL may attempt to take territory in Iraq and Syria. And as we have seen, that's just what happened. So why the wait to respond? Jonathan Schanzer with the Foundation for Defense of Democracy says for too long there was an assumption that the president could ignore the threat.
Our policy from the get-go has been to get out of the Middle East, right? The pivot to Asia we've been talking about for years. And underlying that is this assumption that if we just simply leave the Middle East will leave us alone.
Instead, a realization that probably isn't the case and won't be for a very long time. Reporting in Washington, I'm Christine Frizzell.